Hello, Mec E 200. My name is Mitch Van Brunschot, and this is my Mec E 200 video presentation. Today I will be talking about differentials, and no, not the kind that you learn about in Math 201. I'm going to talk about differentials that are used in cars. Now, differentials are basically a system used to allow two connected wheels in cars to rotate at different speeds. Now you may be wondering why these differentials are important, and the reason is simple. Before differentials, engines in cars would provide power typically to the rear wheels. Now these two back wheels would be connected via a direct steel rod, meaning the two wheels had to turn together at the same speed. Now let's think of what would happen once the car wanted to turn. You can notice on the simple diagram how the velocities of each wheel change as the car begins to turn. That means it has to keep a constant angular velocity. Now, you can see that there's going to be a problem with these two wheels that are attached together. The one closer to the center of the radius is going to turn at a slower velocity than the one that's farther from the center. What happens in this case is that one of the two wheels will have to lose contact with the ground so that the other one can maintain that constant angular velocity. Now this can cause some serious problems or some serious fun, if you catch my drift. So engineers were hard at work to try and develop a solution to this problem, and what they came up with was a differential. A simple way to explain a differential is that it's simply a set of gears that ends up connecting both of the rear wheels together while still allowing them to turn at different speeds. Now here's the problem that these engineers had. They looked at the two wheels and they attached gears to them similarly to this fashion. They are free to rotate from one another, and what they needed to do was find out a way that they could make them both turn together at the same time, but also be able to make them turn independently. So they basically thought, well, if you just have a bar that goes in between these gears, it can push them both along together at the same speed. But if you look at it this way, what happens if you hold one of the gears? You can still slowly turn the other gear. The only problem is, with a single bar, it ends up losing the grip on the gears. It slides away and then it's unusable. So they had to multiply this effect. They had to put many different rods, essentially forming a gear that would hold on to these gears, and they would look a little bit something like this. Here you can see that the gear on the right is turning much faster than the one on the left, and the top and bottom differential gears are rotating in opposite directions of one another. This allows the two gears from the wheels to actually spin at different speeds while still being connected to one another. You may have noticed that was a bit of a crude representation of a differential, but nonetheless it serves to show how a differential actually works. And you could notice that these two gears, which were the two differential gears, they turned opposite to each other when the two wheels of the car were turning at different speeds. So as you can see, differentials now allow both of the wheels to turn at different speeds, and because of that, there have been many improvements in the safety of vehicles, both out on the road and even out on the racetrack, for example, which ultimately would have saved the lives of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Now, there are many advantages to the differential also, and not only do they allow you to stay safe on the road, they also give you much better handling. The improved handling has a lot of effects on a vehicle. It actually can make vehicles more fun to drive. They end up driving faster if you take them on a racetrack, for example, and they make them a lot easier to drive. And through all of these benefits, you can see that differentials have really made quite the difference when it comes to driving vehicles, and there is a really good reason why they are very important to us.